Hey guys, welcome back. Got a pretty good sized project going here. I'm actually replacing the factory intercooler with a Steeda intercooler. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of Steeda parts. Obviously they've been working on Ford stuff for ages and ages, so I thought, hey, why not give it a go? It's pretty involved actually. So here's the front bumper of my truck. And I'll kind of, there it is there. You see how much has to come off the Bronco to get to this bad boy. It actually hasn't been that bad. I mean, it's moved well, but yeah, gotta pull off basically the whole lower front end. So here's the front bumper here, like so, and I want to show you a side by side. So here's the factory intercooler, just got it out of the truck, right? So, you know, left to right, it's about the same width as the Steeda here, obviously because it has to fill the same space. But the end tanks in particular, so these are just gonna be plastic end tanks and really highly exposed to heat sink and things like this, whereas these have really nice, like thick steel end tanks like this. Just a really nice solid product, and this thing weighs easily double what the factory unit weighs. So, and then also, if you look at core volume here, so just to give you a reference, here's the thickness of this one, and then compared to the thickness of this one, I mean, like easily twice as thick. And like I said, just brilliantly made, and it's got really nice like powder coating on it. I mean, just a really cool piece. So I'm about to put this into the truck here, and then I'll kind of give an overview of what it involves and everything like this, and some of the tips I found as I went through it. So so yeah, we'll see this on the truck. All right, so there she is in place, and that is a sexy intercooler, if I do say so myself. So yeah, fits perfectly. I was able to use the factory mounts. So there's the lower mount, there's the upper mount on both sides. Okay, you even actually use the factory rubber bushings, and the fitment is brilliant. It seals perfectly against this this here like this. I mean, it is just a well-built piece. So yeah, I couldn't be more pleased with the way this fits in here, and yeah. So I'll show you next steps too. We're gonna have to do something. This is the electronic shutter wiring harness. It needs to be plugged in because otherwise it'll send an engine code. So anyway, we'll deal with that in a second too, and I'll show you it all together. All right, so here's the active shutter system out of the Bronco. I pulled it out, so there's, I don't know if you can see in the background, there she is there, still without her bumper, but now she's got the intercooler in. But this active shutter system, I'll show you, we're gonna delete this. And what it does is it protects the intercooler. So at high speed, I say high speed, above 18 miles an hour, it shuts like this, right? And so you notice the way, I don't know if you can tell, the edges overlap. So it's really, really good at sealing. There's actually a module that goes right here. If you have active cruise control, that's where the module would be. I don't, but this is where it would go. But yeah, at above 18 miles an hour, it does this. But when you are below 18 miles an hour, the flaps actually fully open on both sides. They're controlled by the same mechanism, so they actually would open at the same time. You don't have to see both. But that would allow the air into the intercooler like this. So my beef is you actually need the intercooler more when the engine is above, or that you're moving more than 18 miles an hour. That's when it's meant to do its job and keep the air charge cooler and everything like this. So anyway, we're deleting this. But what you gotta do, so here's the mechanism. This actually goes on the back side. I'll show you here. You flip it. Sorry, I got a cat in the way. Right, so this mechanism actually goes right here, and what it does is it actually controls these shutters, right? So it flips them up and down depending on how fast you're going. And there's the plug, it goes here. If you delete the shutters, you have to still keep this plugged in, and I'm just going to locate it, use some zip ties, and locate it there behind the bumper. Because if you unplug this and delete it altogether, your engine's gonna, your car's gonna start throwing codes. So I shouldn't affect their performance, but I don't want to sit there and look at check engine lights all the time. So anyway, I'm going to plug it back in, and then I'll just zip tie it up and out of the way behind the grill. But in the interest of protecting my intercooler, so I mean, this does serve a purpose other than killing your performance. This protects the intercooler from any like rocks or road debris that might kick up into your intercooler at speed and put a hole through it. So what I'm going to do is when I put the grill back on, or rather the front bumper back on, I'm going to put a mesh grill in front of the intercooler. So it's still going to serve the purpose of this in protecting the intercooler from road debris, but now it's going to allow flow constantly. Low speed, high speed, doesn't matter. It will always be receiving fresh air. So hopefully we'll see better use of the intercooler out of that as well. But yeah, I'll show you what it looks like when I get the grill in place. All right, so we got the intercooler in, and then we've got the mesh grill cover over it. What I did is, don't know if, sorry about the glare, but if you can see, there's actually a Steeda metal bracket that replaces the plastic one that you got from Ford. And what I did actually is just took some Amazon grill mesh, some cheap stuff, and laid it over here, and then just bolted it in a few spots. Like this, and actually ran it through the main support bolts here. These are 8s, like this. And I just have to trim a little bit here like this, because this is 2 of the 3 mounts for the bumper, so I'll just cut that excess off there. It's already cut on this side, so you can see, but the idea is that at least it provides a bit of a buffer, so if something bounces off the road, it doesn't go right through my intercooler. Hopefully it'll hit this, and then it'll slow it down enough to not have the intercooler damage, but it's also got enough breathing space that there's constantly airflow going over the intercooler, so it can still do its job effectively. So I think I got about 12 bucks worth of mesh on here, something like that, but it should save me, you know, the trouble of having to replace a $900 intercooler. So yeah, and I'll show you what it all looks like with the bumper back on now. All right, finished project, or product rather. So that's what it looks like there. I think it's a really clean install. You can just barely see the top of the Steeda logo, and as much as it pains me, I didn't really want to put a mesh over the front here because I want you to be able to see that, and nothing cooler than an intercooler sticking out the front of a car. But I don't have to replace it from a rock hitting it 75 miles an hour. So hopefully that mesh will do its job. But yeah, now I've got constant flow to my intercooler, and I'll do a short later on after I put some miles on it to see how it works, and if there's any kind of butt dyno sort of results in terms of, I don't know, better pickup at acceleration or whatever like that, less heat soak, I don't know. But it's supposed to kind of go well with all the other mods. So yeah, that's a Steeda there. In terms of install, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. In terms of like the product and everything like that, I really like the craftsmanship, and all the instructions are very thorough. There's an online video from Steeda itself on how to install it. Everything fit well, good quality. It's a bit of a beast because this bumper weighs a ton. And the skid plate is actually pretty heavy too. You got to take most of the front end, lower front end off. But once that's off, man, that thing drops right in the factory spot. So I'm a big fan. I can't recommend it enough. And yeah, thanks to Steeda for a really good product here. We'll see how well it performs once we get the Bronco back on the road. Have a good one, guys.